Hello, today I'll be replacing the rear caliper on my 2015 Mazda 3. As you can see here, the wheel turns freely even with the park brake engaged. The first thing you'll want to do is remove the portion of the center console so you can read the tension on the park brake cable. Lift the console lid, unsnap and unzip the park brake lever boot. Then pull straight up. I've included a diagram to show how this is done. Do your best not to break the clips. You'll need to disconnect the infotainment controls. Then remove the console out of the way. Here's an image of the front clips where the infotainment plugs into. You'll then want to loosen the tension on the park brake cable by loosening the 10mm bolt, turning it counterclockwise. Always compare the parts you're replacing with the parts currently installed in the car. My caliper was obtained from the junkyard. Inspect the caliper to make sure the dust seals are not ripped. Ensure that the brake bleeder valve is not seized. I prepared the caliper by rotating the piston back into the caliper. I made sure to have the grooves lined up at the 12 and 6 o'clock position. Learn from my failed attempts. I tried to use a hose clamp to close the ears of the crown retainer enough to push through the hole. That did not work. I tried using a flathead screwdriver to also pry the ears into the hole. That also did not work.
Let's see, where are we at here? Well, that doesn't really... Okay. So I'm not doing this correctly. I know this is incorrect. You're supposed to squeeze to pull through, but spending too much time on this, I had to just kind of easily, I'll just show you in a second here. Easily, carefully I should say, not easy at all. Okay, so I got this guy off now. Okay.
I ended up using the flathead screwdriver and opening the crown retainer. I do not suggest going this method. If you break this crown retainer, you will have to buy a brand new park brake assembly cable. I cleaned up parts as I went along with sandpaper or emery cloth. Make sure to slide the crown retainer on in the proper orientation.
So you can See, that's on there now.
I reinstalled the caliper to make it easier to remove the brake line bolt. Ensure you have some sort of drain pan to catch the brake fluid. There are two crush washers, one on either side of the brake line fitting. Make sure to remove them if you're replacing them. The second one was stuck on the brake line fitting.
Good. I got the second one off. It reflected off all over the place. There's a little bit of a ridge on it, actually. You can see that or not. Anyways, I bought two new ones, bushings as well. Okay.
At this time, I replaced the caliper slide pin dust covers.
And then I am going to replace the rubber piece too. The new one here. Put that in here. Make sure that seats all around. It's not doing right now. Working. Okay. That seat all around. I don't know right now. Why is that seat all around?
Installing the new caliper is a reversal of uninstalling it or removing the old one. I usually put dabs of brake grease on the back of the brake pads to prevent rattling.
There's a hole here on the side.
Here is a close-up of the banjo bolt used to install the brake line to the caliper.
One of these guys. Oops. No.
Remember to install the two crush washers. The brake line has this hook that fits into the hole right beneath the threaded hole for the banjo bolt.
Yeah.
And here I am installing the park brake cable into the caliper. To bleed the brakes, get a clean, empty bottle, drill a hole in the top so the tube can fit through.
Fill this up. Put some brake fluid in the bottom here, so the tube touches the bottom. Tube, let's submerge that in brake fluid. Check the other end.
Fill the bottle with new brake fluid and then put the top back on the bottle with the tube submerged in the brake fluid. Loosen the bleeder valve, then put the tube over the valve. Check that the reservoir is full, put the top back on, and then get back into the car. Pump the brake pedal several times right to the floor. I usually press the pedal down, hold it for 3 seconds, then release. Repeat these steps 3 to 4 times, or until air stops flowing through the line. Tighten the brake bleeder valve and remove the tube. Check the brake fluid reservoir to ensure the brake fluid is topped up. After bleeding the brakes, I went into the car and adjusted the 10mm nut on the park brake cable. Proper adjustment is about 3 to 5 clicks when pulling up on the park brake. Reinstalling the console is a reversal of removing it. Don't forget to connect the infotainment controls and make sure the clips are properly seated. Before taking it for a test drive, remember to set the brake pedal by pressing the brake pedal 3 to 5 times. Here's a tool I 3D printed to help remove the park brake cable from the caliper. Here it is in action. Feel free to leave a comment. Thanks for watching.